Hello everyone and welcome to this brand new edition of UC Sports, first one of the semester. Fall sports are in full swing here at UConn. To my right we have the ever so dapper Justin Ayer. Justin, tell us a little bit about the week that was in UConn sports.
Oh, what a week we had at UConn with regard to athletics. UConn football, full swing. Unfortunately, they just lost a nail-biter
Tough one.
In the last 20 seconds against Navy. They won against Maine. We have the field hockey team doing what they do best, winning. The men's soccer team's they're kind of at that 500 record right now. 6-2 for the women's soccer team. I mean, we're here. We are here, and we're back in full swing, as you said.
Like you said,
let's get it done.
We're going to break it all down. I'm ready to get into it. You ready?
I'm really ready. Let's do this.
All right, all that and more when we return. You're watching UC Sports. Hello everyone and welcome back to UC Sports. I'm Hector, Molina, and we're glad to have you back here with us. We'll start off with action from the gridiron where the Huskies traveled down to Annapolis to take on the midshipmen of Navy, known for their ground and pound running style. Navy went up early in this one 21-0, finishing with over 230 yards on the ground. UConn stormed back, however, in the third quarter with Ron Johnson, who muscled his way into the end zone, taking off a Navy defender's helmet in the process. Take another look as Johnson sends that midshipman back to basic training after that hit. Making our way now to the fourth quarter, lockdown corner Jamar Summers earns himself a scoop and score and goes 87 yards that tied things up at 21. UConn will later take the lead on a field goal, making it 24-21. Navy would score a touchdown on their next possession, making the score 28-24. Last play of the game now, the Huskies just can't seem to punch it in. No timeouts remaining. Navy goes on to 2-0 after this one with a final score of 28-24, making the Huskies 1-1 on the season. We're now joined here with our football analyst, Ryan Kim. Now, Ryan, this game against Navy was a nail-biter.
Absolutely.
It left a lot of Husky fans with a lot of different feelings. Depression, anger, confusion, especially what went on that last play.
Oh, yeah.
But let's break it down a little bit since you were there at the game. Now, Ryan, what was the biggest problem for UConn against Navy as a whole?
You know, the biggest problem for the Huskies was their clock management. Throughout the game, it seemed to be the clock against UConn, especially on that final play. UConn could have had a couple more plays went off if they had better clock management. The clock management lost the Huskies in this one.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially toward the end there. They took
Definitely.
the last time out.
Right.
The communication between coach and players wasn't on point.
Definitely.
It was just not a good sight to see.
Could have been executed a lot better.
Definitely. Now, Ryan, speaking of the final play, as you were watching the game, what was going through your mind? What were your thoughts, on what happened?
Right, sure. So throughout the final drive, UConn looked poised, attacking downfield 79 yards. They were moving the chains, seemingly, really in position to win the game. All they needed was one score. They had the game. It was 20 seconds left. The Huskies were on the one, second and goal, and they chose to run the ball. So they had no way to stop the clock because, Coach Bob Diaco had no more timeouts to spare, and if Ron Johnson didn't score. So I was shocked, frankly, when they decided to run the ball. I had thought there was a pass attempt coming. So, with the pass attempt, you either win the game and get a chance to win the game, or you have an incompletion, you get another playoff.
Right, and it was second down. They had, two other downs to work with.
Exactly.
I know Ron Johnson was playing a great game. It was ground and pound most of the game, but that Navy defense just plowed the hole.
And you think, if they had an interception anyway, the result would have been the same. They would have lost anyway, so might as well take that opportunity.
And the receivers, everybody thought, they had another timeout. Everybody was jogging back. They just couldn't get back to the line.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, since this game is over, it's in the past, but for this upcoming matchup this Saturday against Virginia, what are some adjustments do you think the Huskies need to make?
So against Virginia, there's three words that come to mind: hold, run, and trust. The UConn Huskies, they need to hold on to the football. The midshipmen forced 5 fumbles, 2 of them which the Huskies had lost. One was which returned back for a touchdown, and that ultimately cost them the game. They have to improve the run defense. The Huskies can't continue to be outscored 235-90 in the rushing game. Virginia's not an easy team. The Huskies can't give Virginia any extra opportunities. Coach Diaco even said himself of their defense, their defense is stout and aggressive and fundamentally sound of the Cavaliers. And finally, they have to trust the quarterback late in the game. Give Bryant Sheriffs a chance for more throws in high-pressure situations and have the defense guessing. If they're going to attempt the rush, then the defense is going to catch on to that.
Yeah, definitely. Those are definitely some big adjustments UConn needs to make. We'll see if they put them into play this Saturday. Kick
definitely.
off at 1:30 at Rentschler. They're home. I think things are looking up. I think
so.
I think they have a good opportunity to prove the fans wrong after last week's performance.
It's a bounce-back performance for them.
Yes,
I see it.
Ryan, thank you for joining us.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Hector.
it. Great job.
Thank you.
Well, that'll do it for our coverage on the gridiron, but we have way more action going on the pitch. My co-anchor, Justin Ayer, will be joining me for that. You won't want to miss what we have for that coverage. All that and more when we return. You're watching UC Sports. Welcome back to UC Sports. Going to the women's side of the pitch. The Huskies recently came out on top in a non-conference matchup against Stony Brook by a final score of 4-1. Senior Stephanie Ribeiro led the way, finding the back of the net twice for the Huskies. Rachel Hill and Faith McCarthy also got in on the action, scoring a goal apiece, which was great for them. The win not only improved the Huskies to 6-2, but also gave head coach Len Tsantiris his 550th victory for his career, solidifying his spot as the second winningest coach of all time among active coaches. With more on Coach Tsantiris' illustrious win, UC Sports' very own Hector Molina has the story. Being at a place known for their success on the hardwood, many people tend to overlook what goes on here on the pitch at UConn, especially on the women's side, where on Sunday, head coach Len Tsantiris achieved his 550th career victory with a 4-1 win over Stony Brook.
It's the years that I've been here, and the kids that I coach, they work hard, they fight, they win games. That's my job. That's what we're trying to do every game. So, the longest, I wouldn't survive if I haven't done that. I won't be here.
Knows his stuff. He knows a lot about the game, and he really works on it with us, whether it's film or on the field. He just knows a lot and helps us out.
Tsantiris has compiled quite the resume during his time here in Storrs. Going into his 36th season, he ranks second all-time in wins among active coaches. During his time, he has led the Huskies to 29 NCAA tournament appearances, including 4 visits to the national championship. Tsantiris contributes all that success to the time he spent here, and most importantly, his players.
I want to win, and the kids want to win. It's a tradition here. We try as hard as we can, and of course you don't win all the games, but we certainly try.
Now, if sitting pretty at a 500 record is your thing, then the UConn men's soccer team is your team to watch. The Huskies, now sitting at a 3-3 record, just took on the #1 team in the nation Tuesday night on the road. That team, of course, being the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame. The game was brought into double overtime with a score of 0-0 at the end of regulation. This was the first time the two teams faced each other since 2012 as members, let's just hear the sound of this, the old Big East Conference. So please, give some credit where credit is due. Throughout the game, both defenses really had stellar performances, and the Huskies goalie, Scott Levine, made 4 crucial second-half saves under a non-stop driving Notre Dame offensive force. But it was in the 102nd minute when Notre Dame's John Gallagher, a junior forward from Ireland, who rushed past the Husky defense toward the right flank to score his 6th goal of the season and only goal of the contest. The Huskies' next game will be at home on the 17th, where they hope to defeat the 1-4 Loyola Greyhounds at 7 p.m.
UConn field hockey took on Harvard Sunday. Amanda Collins recorded her second multi-goal game of the season. Her first goal came off a slick pass by Svaya Bacher 9 minutes in. Here's head coach Nancy Stevens' reaction.
She's just so difficult to defend, and she has a really quick trigger. So I will say that Svea Bacher gave her a beautiful assist on her first goal, and that was very unselfish play by Svea.
This was Collins' fourth and fifth goals of the season. The Huskies had 2 more goals in the second half, one by Veitner and the other by Casey Umstead. And that was the ball game, 4-0 Huskies over the Crimson. With that said, we are going to take a quick commercial break, but when we get back, we got some WNBA UConn player talk to discuss. So you don't want to miss this. Stay right here. Welcome back to UC Sports. Right now, let's talk about Connecticut basketball in the WNBA. I think that's a pretty good topic. As of right now, UConn currently has 15 former players on the active 2016 WNBA roster, among the most of any program nationally. It's a pretty good accreditation. I mean, we got players like Morgan Tuck, who's on the Connecticut Sun, Maya Moore on the Lynx. We got Brianna Stewart on the Seattle Storm, Mariah Jefferson on the San Antonio Stars. I mean, that's arguably the most dominant UConn women's team, players that we can possibly think of. I mean, if you think about it.
Those are all people on the Huskies Wall of Honor. And Stewie, Maya Moore. It seems like every game Maya Moore's dropping either 20, 30. Stewie in her rookie season is already like the focal point of the team.
Yeah.
Mariah Jefferson was just in a commercial the other day with Adidas a bunch of top athletes in any sport. You know, from baseball, basketball, and when women's basketball came up, Mariah Jefferson was in the commercial, and that's great notoriety, not only for herself, but like for the university in general. You know, it's good to see that the success on the hardwood doesn't stop just here at UConn.
No, and not only that, but let's talk about Brianna Stewart for a second. She most recently won the ESPYs. I don't know about you, I was going crazy, you know, being a UConn student, you know, a fan of the women's basketball, just a fan of UConn athletics in general, just seeing her win the ESPYs. What a fabulous thing for UConn in general and for her as a professional athlete. I mean,
think of the ESPYs, those are the Oscars of sports.
Yeah.
You know, Brianna Stewart, she's dominated in her 4 years at UConn. I think during all 4 years she may have been the most dominant women's college basketball player during her time, or maybe if ever.
4-time national champion. I mean, when has that ever been done?
Yeah, or 4-time. I think it was 4-time most outstanding player of the year too.
True.
In the tournament. And that's just something you don't see. And she has the versatility. You know, she could kill you from the outside, kill you from the inside. She's long. She does it all she fills the stat sheet, not just points, assists, rebounds, and she has the skill set that not only make herself better, but her team around her better also.
Yeah, and let's talk about the Rios for a second, right? The Rios, former Huskies on the team. We had Sue Bird, right? Tina Charles, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Stewie. They all played for Oriema, and they also played for Oriema at the 2016 Rio Games. They won their 6th gold. How awesome is that? It's just like UConn all over again, but for this time playing nationally. I mean, that's awesome.
Right. It didn't look that much different for us fans here in stores. It was great to see the UConn alumni, you know, continuing that success, especially on a world scale such as the Olympics. It was just great to see, you know, great dominant effort, and the way they did it too. You know, Gino established the same principles in the Team USA as he did at his teams at UConn.
And that's why he's one of the greatest coaches to ever coach the game.
That's right. That's right. And the girls carry on that legacy, as you know, we just mentioned.
Absolutely.
Well, that'll just about wrap it up for here at UC Sports. For myself, my co-anchor Justin Ayer, Ryan Kim for joining us at the desk.
And let's not forget those in the production booth. We have Anthony DiBernardo and Lindsay Kane back there.
Yep, and it was a great first show of the semester. Many more shows to follow. Great show tonight. that'll wrap it up for us. Thank you for watching. Good night.